You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green, and today let's talk a little bit about the New York Giants offensive line and specifically David DeCastro. DeCastro was released yesterday by the Pittsburgh Steelers in a surprise. They did save $8.75 million in salary cap space by releasing David DeCastro, but it caught everybody amongst the NFL and NFL league-wide by surprise. He's been an elite guard since he's entered the NFL. He's a two-time All-Pro and a six-time Pro Bowler. And there are rumors because of injury that David DeCastro, he might retire. He's really battled injuries for the past couple of years, and specifically an ankle injury. It's really just been getting to him, and he just really can't produce like he once did. And for the New York Giants, should they sign David DeCastro? Because offensive guard is a huge need for the Giants right now. I mean, we're relying on guys like Shane Lemieux and Will Hernandez, and everybody knows that watches the Giants that Will Hernandez has really struggled and not lived up to the hype of being a second round draft pick out of UTEP. And if you go and look at the rumors and everything across the NFL, FanDuel listed the Giants as the #1 free agency destination for David DeCastro. Is that because we're just thin at offensive guard? Yeah, and it's just a guy that would fit right in. He's a road grader and he's a run blocker, and he would fit extremely well into this Giants offense. DeCastro, he's going to need ankle surgery for the third time in his NFL career, and he went on to say and talk about his ankle injury in depth in a Q&A, and he said, "I had some painful ankle issues. I'll need it cleaned up for a third time in my career. I had trouble with it last year and was hoping it would get better. I was holding out hope it would get better, but it never really recovered. Got an MRI on it, and I need to get it cleaned out again." If the guy after ankle surgery is healthy, the New York Giants need to sign him. We can't go into this season just relying on guys like Shane Lemieux and Will Hernandez at the offensive guard spot. If we can bring in a guy that was a two-time All-Pro to solidify this offensive line and protect and make holes for Saquon Barkley, we need to do so because the time is now. We went all in free agency. We added playmakers in the draft. It's just time we need to solidify the offensive line. If you go back to last year and look at DeCastro's stats and his PFF grades, it wasn't his best showcase. He really struggled, and like he said, because of his ankle injury, he really wasn't able to be the same guy he was. He played in 13 games, and he had 845 snaps, an overall grade of 64.1, and if you're unfamiliar with Pro Football Focus, the average grade is usually 70 to 75, so DeCastro, he was below average last year, but he was an above average pass blocker. He's always been a great run blocker, but last year he really struggled due to that ankle injury. And if you want to take an even deeper look at his 2020 stats, he did well in pass blocking, like the stats I showed you previously on the last graphic showed. He didn't allow a single sack, only 2 QB hits, 15 QB hurries. Is that because Ben Roethlisberger likes to hold on to the ball longer than usual? It might be, and only 2 penalties. DeCastro, he's an All-Pro, a former All-Pro, and he's just a vet that the Giants could use. And I have a question for you guys. Should the Giants, or do you want the Giants to sign David DeCastro? If you do, go down in the comments and type Y. And if you're like, I'm just not sure about this guy. He's talked about retirement. He's coming off a third ankle surgery. I just don't know if I want to bring him in to be a New York Giant. Go down in the comments and type N for no. DeCastro went on to talk more in this Q&A, and he was asked about retiring. And he said, "I'm not sure. I'm going to talk to the doctor, see how the surgery goes, and take it from there. I'm not entirely sure. I just want to take it one step at a time." Going through this Q&A and just reading everything he said, I think DeCastro is going to retire. He just sounded like a guy that was demoralized and heartbroken that he can't stay healthy and produce at the level that he once did. A former 2-time All-Pro that's struggling to stay on the field because of an ankle injury that's just been popping up throughout his career. It's got to be an extremely frustrating situation. And although if he's healthy, I would love to sign him and add him to this New York Giants offensive line depth chart, but I just don't see it happening because I think he's going to retire. I mean, if you just look at our offensive guard spots, at right guard, Will Hernandez, we've already had to switch him from left guard to right guard because he struggled there last year in the Jason Garrett system. and a guy that's still really young in his career and hasn't proven himself in Shane Lemieux. I think if you add a guy like David DeCastro, and we'll show that right now, what that offensive line depth chart would look for the Giants, it would give a unit much more kind of a veteran vibe, and a guy that can come in and show these younger guys how to be a vet, how to be a productive offensive lineman in the National Football League. New York Giants fans, help us get to 900 subscribers. We're almost there, and let's do it by tonight, because what are we waiting for? We got to get there. I talked with the bosses today, and they told me, hey, Marshall, we got to get to 900 subscribers by midnight or else. And I was like, what do you mean or else? And he was walking out of the door, and he just pointed back at me, and he said, or else. So help me help you, because I want to talk more New York Giants football, and I know you guys want to watch more New York Giants videos. Bleacher Report came out with an article and listed the New York Giants as the second biggest sleeper team for the 2021 NFL season. They even predicted the Giants to go over under on their win total and said they would win more than 7 games. The Giants, and a big reason that they did this, and we'll touch on a quote later in the video, they made some huge splashes in the offseason, in free agency, and in the draft. This is a team that's much improved, and we're going to be much more healthy than we were last year. Let's take a look now at the full top 5 list of the Bleacher Report sleeper teams for the 2021 NFL season. And they have the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 1, our New York Giants at number 2, the Arizona Cardinals at number 3, Raider Nation at number 4, and the Chicago Bears at number 5. And why did I want to show this list? Because the Giants, they owned the Chicago Bears' first-round pick for the 2022 NFL Draft. And we need that team to stay asleep. We need that team to lose as many games possible so the Giants can reap the benefit of trading down and acquiring that Bears first-round pick. I have a question for you guys. Are the Giants a sleeper team? Are they a team that, that can surprise some teams this year? Some teams are going to take us lightly, and we can win games that we're not supposed to. If you think the Giants are a sleeper team, go down in the comments and type T. If you're like, you know what? I don't know, maybe. I don't really think they're going to be that good. They still got Daniel Jones throwing the rock. I don't trust that guy. He might trip on his way into the end zone on a wide open run. Type F for false. Bleacher Report, they went on to talk about in an extensive piece about this list, and they added on the Giants. With a stingy defense and a plethora of offensive playmakers, the Giants' scoring potential should lead to more wins. Meanwhile, New York's division rivals face major question marks. Can defensive coordinator Dan Quinn fix the Dallas Cowboys defense? How long will 38-year-old Ryan Fitzpatrick start under center for the Washington football team? Is Jalen Hurts the Philadelphia Eagles franchise quarterback? This is a division that has a lot of question marks surrounding it, and it's just a division, in my opinion, that's really up in the air, and whatever team wants it more is going to go out there and claim it. I want you guys to go down in the comments and answer this question for me. Who do you think is going to win the NFC East? If you think it's going to be those boys out of Dallas, go down in the comments and type C. If you think it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and their terrible fans that throw batteries at Santa, go down in the comments and type E for Eagles. If you think it's going to be the Washington football team, a team that doesn't have a mascot, go down in the comments and type W. And if you think it's going to be your New York Giants, go down in the comments and type G. Me, I'm going to go down in that comments and I am going to spam that G because I believe the Giants can win the NFC East. It's just a team that really just added offensive weapons that is really going to be able to benefit Daniel Jones. When you add a guy like Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney and Kyle Rudolph, it's just a team that's extremely improved on the offensive side of the ball, and I think we're going to see that this year. If you want to hold me accountable and maybe even talk some New York Giants football, go follow me on Twitter. It's at @MarshallGreen_. I get a lot of beef and a lot of crap about having an underscore, but some stiff that hasn't tweeted since 2007 has Marshall Green as his @ name. So right now I'm rocking the underscore. Hopefully they delete that profile. But if you want to go talk some ball, New York Giants football, I love doing it. So just tweet me, follow me, DM me. I'll talk all day about New York Giants football. If we go and look at some of the key additions that this New York Giants team added and why I think that they will be able to win the NFC East, It's just the proof's in the pudding. You add a number one receiver like Kenny Golladay, that's going to help out Daniel Jones. You add a number two corner like Adoree Jackson, that was a huge hole for the Giants in the past couple of years. It's going to make this defense be able to be more creative under Patrick Graham, and it's going to be able to help James Bradberry just lock into his role and play one side of the field. And then you get a guy like Kyle Rudolph, a veteran tight end that's proven that he can be a reliable pass catcher and a productive player still at his age. And everybody knows Evan Ingram has been up and down so far in his NFL career, and he's really struggled with injuries. Just a safety valve like Kyle Rudolph is going to be huge for this offense. And then we talk about our first 2-round draft picks, Kadarius Toney and Azeez Ojulari. These are two guys that are going to come in and make instant impacts. And I just think that this is all going to just form into shape and show that this Giants, they are a sleeper team, but they're going to really wake some teams up this year. And it's all going to come down to Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter about the guys that we added on defense. And it just doesn't matter about how a guy like Kenny Golladay is going to play if Daniel Jones isn't going to live up to the hype of being a first-round draft pick. It's all on Daniel Jones this year. He's got a number one receiver. He's got a gadget guy like Kadarius Toney that can make plays with the ball in his hands. Saquon Barkley is back this year, and I'm expecting huge things out of him. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Danny, and we're going to live and die with the success of Daniel Jones. Like I said earlier, subscribe to New York Giants now. We are reaching for 900 subscribers, and we got to do it by midnight, or I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any more New York Giants videos. So go down and subscribe. The link is right here. The button right there is also right there. So go subscribe. I want to talk more New York Giants football. I know you guys want to watch more New York Giants videos. So help me help you. Subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports.